Do you struggle to get the perfect brows? Well, maybe you've never tried this method before. If you're interested in learning about how I do my brows, just keep on watching. Hey, what's up y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I do my eyebrows. It's a bit unconventional, but it's definitely a beginner-friendly tutorial. So if you're interested in learning this method, just keep on watching. So before we get started on this tutorial, you're going to need a few things. Also note that I'm putting all the items in the description box as well. The first thing you're going to need is your brow brush, and this one I got from the beauty supply store. This is by Ruby Kisses, and note that it has a spoolie on the end. This is what you're going to be using for your application process. The next thing you're going to need is your brow pomade, and for this video I'm using the Anastasia Dipbrow pomade in the color dark brown. The next thing you're going to need are your concealers, and I use two shades. I use one that's lighter, and this one I typically use for underneath the brow, and I use another one that is my complexion, and this one I use around the brow on top. And this brand in particular is the LA Girl Pro Concealers in the colors Fawn for the light one and Toast for the dark one. And lastly, this is where it gets a bit unconventional. Now, this is an eyeliner. And this is for people who have sparse eyebrows, who kind of want to draw in areas where they feel like it's lacking. I got this from the dollar store, and I think this is LA Colors. Whatever it is, it was like a cheap eyeliner, and it's not completely dark, like it's not completely black. This is kind of like off black, close to dark brown, so it matches my eyebrow hairs pretty well. The way I found out about this was I was going Halloween shopping, and I wanted a cheap eyeliner since I didn't want to like draw on my face with my expensive eyeliner. So I had filled in my eyebrows like hairs with this, and it actually looked pretty good. So that's how I found out that this method worked for me. So if you're interested in learning how I do this, just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your brow pomade, and you're gonna take your brush, and you're gonna dip your brush into the product just so you have enough on there to work with. I'm just kind of like smoothing it off the side so I'm not taking too much product. Then I'm gonna brush my hairs towards like in a sideways sweeping motion just to make it smooth. And I'm going to start to draw the arch. So I'm drawing an outline on the top of my brow and just dragging it down towards where I want it to stop. And typically, like, I look at the edge of my eye and basically where my hair stops. So, but if you don't have a lot to work with in that area, you can look at the edge of your eye and just see like where you want it to stop. I want to stop about here. And now I'm gonna dip my brush into the product again and start the bottom line of my arch. And dragging that down into a triangle-like tip. And then filling in what I just did with the product that's still on the brush. Like that. So the next thing you're gonna do now, and again, sort of starting by the arch, you're just gonna drag that line, and I'm doing the bottom line right now. You're gonna drag your product towards the front. And the same for the top. Starting towards the arch and dragging it forward. Dragging it all the way towards the front. And you're making sure that your strokes are light so that you're not making them extremely dark. If you want to make them darker, you can pile product on top or pressure, but I would say start off with light strokes and just like drag your way towards the front. Notice I'm still making the outline so you don't see anything filled in there. Now you're gonna start filling it in. Again, light strokes, and you're just working with the product that's on the brush. And you're sort of fading it out towards the front. Notice this is how I'm holding my brush. This. And just like working back towards the arch. And this part doesn't, like, the lines don't have to be perfect because you are gonna clean it up with concealer at some point. Just want enough up there to accurately see like where you want your brows to be or how thick you want them to be. And I'm just like going back in and filling in with the same product that I already had on this brush. And once you get to the front, you can take your brush sideways and just start drawing in upwards motions. Now I'm going to take the spoolie and fade it out. This part's pretty important as it will make it look more natural, so you're just fading it out upwards and like towards the front motions, and then just brushing the brow so the product is in there evenly. Alright, so that's basically the brow itself. So now this is where it starts getting tricky. You're gonna take the eyeliner that you have. I'm gonna like shake it up a bit. And again, you don't want too much product on this, as I'm gonna show you. Just kind of wipe it off on the sides. You just want enough to like have product on there, but not enough to make it extremely dark. So I smoothed off most of the product, and now I'm gonna draw hairs on my tail like this. Just short lines. Up towards the tail. And I do this after because if you use a spoolie on this part, it could just like peel off the eyeliner, and you don't want that. So I do this step at the end before I clean it up with concealer. And I kind of do this process towards the arch and like middle of your brow to fade it out. But you don't want to bring it anywhere past like this region. And I'm going to use my finger now to like kind of smooth or like press down in those areas. And yeah, that's it for the eyeliner step. Now what you want to do is take your lighter shade of concealer. This is my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. And this one's like got a squeeze tube. I know some concealers don't. But I'm going to take some of that product, squeeze some onto the back of my hand. And then I'm going to go up underneath my brow, right along where I drew the line underneath it. So I'm just gonna trace it in small strokes like this. I'm gonna tilt my head up so you can see it better. In small strokes like this. Again, you don't want too much product on there, so that's why you patted it on the back of your hand like that. And then I started smoothing it, the line, and then the arch. Again, small strokes. And then I go back and smooth over the line. Like that. And just cleaning up if you had any areas that you wanted to not have product on, you just draw them on top of that. At the same time, you're using the light shade to accentuate the brow and give it a nice highlight underneath it. So I'm gonna dip this back into the product again. And now you're gonna take that line and you're gonna drag it down. Now I do this as far as for blending purposes, because I realized that like when the line is like in a straight line like that, it's not like a very clean blend, or it's like harder to make a cleaner blend. So I'm just dragging it in downward motions. Again, you don't want too much product on this brush, so just dragging it down like that. And then next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your concealer that's in your complexion. This is my Toast LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Toast. And you're gonna do the same thing to the top of your brow. Again, I'm just like smoothing that out, so like it's a very small amount of product on there. And doing the same thing to the top. Just tracing that line in small strokes. Making sure not to draw into the brow on accident. And if you do, you can always just go back over it again with the pomade. Small strokes and then smoothing it. Small strokes. And then smooth. I kind of got a bit into the arch there, but I'll just fix that up in a moment. Again, I'm dragging it up. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Like, you're doing the exact same method as the bottom one. I'm dragging the product out. As you can see, it kind of already looks blended, but this is before. And also what I like to do with this one, that's my complexion, is also drag some underneath where I drug the lighter shade, just to make it a little bit more subtle, and then bringing it towards the front as well. Alright, now for the middle of your brow, you're gonna take the lighter shade, and you're just gonna go draw a line down the middle like I just did. And just kind of drag it out a bit into the brow where you want it to stop. Then you're gonna go back and take your brow brush again, your spoolie, and you're just gonna fade that product out into that concealer that you just finished placing there. Fade it out and in upwards like directions and towards the inside like I just did. Now I'm just smoothing it back. Alright, and now you're gonna blend in all that concealer that you just placed on your brow. Like this. I know it does help when your brush is a bit wet. I didn't spray it with any type of primer spray or anything like that. So this is just completely dry. Whichever way you do it does the trick. But I'm just brushing it in downward strokes, or outward strokes I would say. Outward from like the lines that you made. So it's outward and like outward from the bottom. Just making sure it's real smooth. And now I'm gonna brush some of that concealer into the front just to make it look more faded. And now back to the spoolie to smooth over the front. Again, I didn't touch my tails because I put eyeliner there and I don't want to accidentally peel it off with the spoolie. So I'm just focusing on the base of my brows and just making sure it's smooth and that the front is all nice and faded out well. Upwards from the bottom, downwards from the top, and then side sweep. And that's how I do my brows. Okay, so I completed this look by adding an eyeliner and putting some lashes on. I made videos for both of those, so if you wanted to check those out, I'm gonna put the links on top. And usually how I finish off my eyebrows is that I take a highlight, and I'm gonna use this Anastasia Glow Kit to use for a highlighter, and the color bronze is like this darker brown color on the corner. And I'm gonna take this color, I'm just gonna go right up under my brow bone and just dust it off. like that. And you can see it's got like a nice little glimmer to it right underneath. And that's usually how I finish off my eyebrows. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in on how to do your eyebrows. If you found this video helpful or if you liked the way it turned out, you can leave me a thumbs up. Also, if you had any questions, nice comments, or suggestions you wanted to see me do in the future, you can leave that down below in the comment section. And also, do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Again, thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for more.